welcome to the No Spin News for Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. Stand up for your country. Well, this is a true statement. Many people in this world are frightened. They live in that kind of a scared state all the time. And some of it's justified, depending on where you are. Some of it isn't. Most human beings are cautious. They don't live in a state of fear, but they're not bold. I mean, they calculate before they move. But President Trump is not one of them. He is a gambler. And now his gamble on the American economy, the worldwide economy really, is in question. I think that's all accurate. So let's run it down. So on April 30th, a Tuesday, I'll be co-anchoring a town hall on News Nation about Donald Trump's first 100 days. Then the following Friday, 3 days later, I'll be doing an analysis with Leland Verdit, an hour special on the 100 days. That'll just be me and Leland. The town hall is going to be, a big dog and pony, but I am going to be the traffic cop. So that's coming up. It will surprise you what I have to tell you because I'm researching it now. It's not going to be the same old stuff, and you'll be surprised. So that's coming up. So all this week, I'm basically zeroing in on what the president is doing, what he's accomplished, and what he has failed to do. All right? And we're going to do it in a very, as I said, methodical way. Now, the tariff situation and the economy and your 401k and investments, that is far and away the headline that exists today in America and all over the world. And that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. So there is mass confusion. There is no doubt about that. It is very complicated. I have a master's degree in public administration from Harvard, which got slapped by Trump today, and we'll report that in a little while. And when I was studying in Cambridge, I hated macroeconomics. It was horrible because it was so difficult to learn all these systems. I forced myself to do it, and I know, I'm not saying I'm an economist, but I know how the world works. And most other people don't, including seasoned journalists. So you may remember last week we had a guy named Dr. Nicholas Lardy. He was an expert on the Chinese economy, very smart guy, okay? And he disagreed with me about how China is handling all the dollars it gets every year from the USA. So I'll remind you of how much that is. We do $463 billion in trade with China. Okay? 463. And then Chinese investment. They buy savings bonds, they buy land, they buy securities. That's 127 billion going back to China every year in interest payments and dividends, things like that. That's $600 billion a year going into Beijing. The Communist Party runs that economy. It's a colossal amount. Anyway, I believe, and I think I can prove it, but I believe strongly, much of that money, those dollars, is being used to build up the ferocious Chinese military. And this is what Lardy and I discussed. Roll it. What about the war machine? Are you worried about the Chinese war machine?
Well, they're ramping up their military expenditures, and it's been going on for a decade. Quite frankly, not very much of it is financed by the 600 or 700 billion we send to China. They have their domestic economy is 12, 13 trillion. So a few hundred billion coming from the United States is not a decisive factor.
No, I did not call Lardy on that because I don't have the stats because the Chinese government doesn't put them out. They don't say, hey, we expend this much on our military and this percentage coming from the USA. That doesn't happen in a communist regime. They do what they want and then nobody knows about it. But yesterday, Victor Davis Hanson, who I believe is the strongest columnist in America, wrote this, quote, NATO, the EU, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and the US are also curious as to why China is using its vast foreign exchange not to lift about a quarter of its population out of third world level poverty. Instead, it is frantically building 3 to 4 nuclear bombs a month, a 700 ship navy, and 2,500 combat aircraft as it ratchets up pressure on Taiwan, unquote. Well, there you go. Hansen agrees with me. Okay? And I don't know whether he heard my interview with Dr. Lord. He might have. But I don't think there's any doubt that US dollars are fueling our enemy's military. Now, do you think most people know that? Has that been widely reported in the American press? No. People don't have a clue, not a scintilla of what is going on here. Trump knows because I talked to him about it, right? Now, I was on Leland Vitter's program on News Nation last night, and I'm on News Nation on Monday at 9 and with Cuomo Wednesdays 8:15. And it's worth you guys checking that out. Anyway, Leland is a very smart guy with a lot of experience abroad, a foreign correspondent for Fox in the Middle East for a long time. And here's what we were talking about vis-a-vis the tariffs. Go.
The money from tariffs doesn't come from overseas. The money for tariffs comes from all of us. And I think that's part of this inconsistency. You say it doesn't matter.
That's not right, Leland. So the United States Treasury gets the money that Mercedes pays on the tariffs from its cars coming into the USA. And that's what Trump wants. He wants more money coming in than going out. Now, he's not going to achieve that goal. It's impossible to achieve it. But he'll cut it 50, 60%, I'm pretty sure, over the next 6 months or so. Now, Leland, as I said, is one of the smartest of the pundits on television. He doesn't know how it works. So I'm sitting here every night and reporting to you and watching this insanity on television. It's the dumbest stuff I've ever heard because the media has now made this into a political thing, not an economics thing. Trump bad. Tariffs bad because Trump's bad. I'm sitting there going, you have no idea what is happening in this world and how our enemies are being strengthened by this unfair trade system. You don't know. And worst of all, you don't care. And I'm talking to the network news and CNN and MSNBC and to some extent Fox. Because the mistake that Fox News makes is that it just rubber stamps everything Trump does. You can't. You got to cut through all of this special interest stuff and bring legitimate information and analysis and clarity to you, the American people. Okay, so I think we're doing a pretty good job of that. And the final thing in this whole thing is Donald Trump knows his entire legacy is on the line here with this tariff stuff. If it succeeds and the American economy booms in the latter half of this year, which Trump believes will happen, okay, then he's going to go down alongside Ronald Reagan. If our country falls into a recession, it is over for Trump's legacy. The Republicans will lose the midterms, and he'll just be a lame duck for 2 years. That is what is at stake. How huge is that? And that's the memo. All right, here's another example of United States getting hosed. So I've been to pretty much every European country. I don't think I missed any of them. I haven't been to Slovenia, where Melania Trump was born and raised. I have not been to Poland. I can't believe I missed it. But everywhere else I've been. And when you go there, you pay a VAT, value-added tax. Every country has it. But not only do you pay it if you want to buy some shoes in Italy, but American products shipped to the EU, all of them have to pay a tax, which is why they cost a lot more in Europe than here. So if you wanted to buy a Ford automobile in America, it's 30% less to buy it here than to buy it over there because of the VAT tax. Every American import into the EU is taxed. All right, and here are the rates. Italy, 22%. France, 20%. Germany, 19%. UK, 20%. Spain, 21%. So everything that we ship gets taxed at that rate so that the people who sell have to charge 20% more. And they can't compete with the domestics, of which is what the game is. So Europeans don't buy a lot of American stuff. I remember one time I was in Sweden and I had a Washington Redskins jacket before the Redskins went, okay? Guy offered me $100 on the spot for the jacket. Jacket cost back here about 60 bucks. I sold it to him. I did, because I had another jacket. I said, yeah, I'll just go back to the USA, buy another one. He goes, give me that. I'll pay $100 for that jacket. Okay? And because he knew that it was unaffordable. And they weren't even in the stores. American products are not even in the European stores because they're so expensive because of the VAT tax. Now, did you know any of that? That's how the European countries make their money. They tax everything you buy, and their own people have to pay it. Okay. Let's go to immigration. So Abrego Garcia is still in El Salvador. He is the Maryland guy in the country illegally who got swept up in an ICE raid, deported to El Salvador. But the Trump administration says it was a mistake. Okay, he has no criminal record here or in El Salvador. They booted him out, and he's there, and he's got an American wife and an American young daughter. And he's still in El Salvador. Well, the Supreme Court on April 14th, the Supreme Court ruled that Mr. Garcia has to be brought back. The government has to facilitate Abrego Garcia's release from Salvadoran custody and effectuate his return. Facilitate and effectuate. It's basically the court is saying, you got to bring him back. Trump administration doesn't want to bring him back. And the word now is from the Department of Social Security filed yesterday, said, well, we don't have the authority to bring him back. Okay, so you remember that yesterday the El Salvadoran president was in the White House and said, well, I'm not going to bring him back to the United States. Now, all President Trump has to do is say to this guy, you're going to send him back. And in 10 seconds, the guy would be on a plane coming back. El Salvador's not going to defy the Trump administration. They're making billions of dollars from us down there. Okay? So if we want him back, but Trump doesn't want him back. And this is a big mistake because the Supreme Court's watching this. And the Supreme Court obviously wants this guy to get due process, which he should get. He is under the asylum court jurisdiction in Maryland now. He's applied for asylum. And you kick him out, and now the Supreme Court says, yeah, you got to bring him back. No. Donald Trump's going to need the Supreme Court. This is small ball. Bring the man back. I mean, why do you want to pick a fight at that level? Okay. Do we have anything else here on the legal front? Maybe later. President Trump is trying to fix the economy, but some believe the damage is already done. As the dollar value drops, China's power and gold keep going up. I called American Hartford Gold to diversify with physical precious metals, and you might consider that as well. They will help you secure your savings with physical gold and silver delivered right to your door, or you can set up a tax advantage gold IRA. Plus, it's tax and penalty free to roll over your current 401k or IRA. With billions in precious metals delivered, thousands of 5-star ratings, and an A+ from the Better Business Bureau, they are the only precious metals dealer I trust. So please call or text American Hartford Gold. Tell them O'Reilly sent you, and you might get $15,000 of free silver on a qualifying order. Call 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. Again, 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. All right, I cut a YouTube commentary yesterday. Our channel, which is free, youtube.com/Bill O'Reilly, approaching 1 million subscribers. We hope you do go on there for the bonus on YouTube, the bonus commentary. And it's about this hypocrisy about Joe Biden. These Democrats who, oh, he's so smart, he's so great. And then as soon as he's done, oh, we knew he was stupid. We knew he was demented. So you'll like that commentary. Let's go to the mail. We got Ralph, who's a concierge. Remember, if the countries that are sending product here pay the tariffs and money goes to the U.S. Treasury, why would the price of a product go up to the consumer? Because, Ralph, when the Mercedes comes in here and gets through paying all the tax on it, the tariffs on it, then the Mercedes dealership in your town adds on all the costs to the retail price for you. So if it costs them 15% more to get it in under the Trump tariffs, the price goes up 15%. Jamie Hernandez, Rio Rico, Arizona, just saw your segment, O'Reilly, regarding your socks and passing on socks made in China. I agree we all have a choice in deciding what to purchase. However, it's hard to find country of origin when purchasing online. No, you can just ask them where it was made. And a lot of those products, you'll see they have a little product description. They'll tell you. You can find out. Bob Kokurek, Brillion, Wisconsin. I'm told China is the second largest source of fentanyl coming into the country. Remember President Trump speaking with President Xi, saying that China has a death penalty for drug dealers. How can both things be true? Because fentanyl manufacturing in China doesn't come under the heading of drug dealing. They send the fentanyl to Mexico, where it's processed into the narcotics. So that, and the Chinese government doesn't care. Yeah, we're making more money. Send the fentanyl to Mexico. So they're not selling drugs. They're selling the components of the fentanyl. It's made. Alex Seta, Pickens, South Carolina. Donald Trump has great policies. Oftentimes his implementation is reckless. There's a lot of unforced errors. Messaging is all over the place. He will go down as my greatest president in terms of accomplishments, but end up with a 40% approval rating if he doesn't work out all three things. It's all about the economy, Alex. That's really what it's all about. Kathleen Griego, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Can you please explain how and why Stephen A. Smith can be a serious candidate for president? Because he wants to be. That's it. Donald Trump opened the door for every American to run for president if you can get the resources. That's the thing. Is Stephen A. going to be able to raise $1 billion? $1 billion. So that is it. But anybody can run as a populist. Bill Forrest, Woodward, Virginia. First thing I do when I get up in the morning is check the message of the day on BillO'Reilly.com. I enjoy the eclectic take. Whether it's politics, culture, anything, it's always a great way to start the day. Well, Bill, I know you're a loyal viewer. Thank you very much. Message of the day is free. Columns on Sunday are free. People can go there. You can read the wisdom that I impart or lack thereof. Okay, we want you to go, and Mom is May 11th, a little early this year, Mother's Day. We're going to sell out of the Not Woke Mom mugs. I know it. So if you want them, you got to get them now. We twinned it with Killing the Witches, which a lot of women liked. And you can buy these both, or you can buy the Not Woke Mom or Witches on their own. Okay? But if you want the not woke mom, they're going to sell out. You got to get them. It's a great gift. And you give a book and a mug, that pretty much covers it. Take mom out to lunch or whatever. And then if you want the not woke gear, we got the golf shirts, the polos, the baseball hats, the mugs, the bumper stickers, everything you could possibly want for not woke. And we're on True Social now. I didn't even know that. So we're on True Social at official Bill O'Reilly. I can't keep track of everything we're on now. We're everywhere. So True Social at official Bill O'Reilly. I'm happy. I mean, word of the day, do not be furtive. F-U-R-T-I-V-E. Back with a final thought in a moment. There is a lot of talk about government debt, but the real crisis is personal debt. You need Done with Debt. They have unique strategies to help end your debt fast so you can keep more of your hard-earned money. And they will not try to sell you a loan. They're tough negotiators. Will go one-on-one with your credit card and loan companies to drastically reduce bills, eliminate interest, erase penalties. Clients end up with more money in their pocket on month one. And they don't stop until you're debt-free. Take a few minutes. Visit donewithdebt.com. It's free, but listen, some solutions are time sensitive, so you have to move quickly. Go to donewithdebt.com. Donewithdebt.com. Tell them Bill sent you. There is a growing real estate crime out there. The FBI calls it house stealing. Criminals forge your signature on one document, file it with a fake notary stamp. Just like that, your title's gone. Then criminals can take out loans or sell without you knowing. So, when is the last time you checked your home's title? Probably never, and the scammers know it. That's why I trust Home Title Lock's $1 million triple lock protection. You get 24/7 monitoring, urgent alerts, and if fraud does occur, they'll spend up to $1 million to restore your title at no added cost. Please go to HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code BILL250 now for a free title history report and access to your title expert. $250 value when you sign up. HomeTitleLock.com. Code BILL250. Okay. Do you know what a procrastinator is? Yes, you know, somebody who puts off things. So a lot of people haven't made their vacation plans for summer yet. And it's the middle of April. This is not good. But if you are going on vacation and you start late, here's what you can expect. Sky-high hotel rates. Highest in history. So you might look at the Airbnb or whatever that, because hotels are going to kill you. It's ridiculous. It really is absurd. And then, if you haven't booked your airline flight, seats, there's a lot of people flying. And they've downgraded to smaller planes now. All right? So they're jammed. And then rent-a-cars. If you want to rent a car, you show up, a lot of times they go, well, we don't have it. The earlier you book, the better opportunity you have that they will have it when you show up. But if you're late, you're going to get hosed. Now, I try to drive. You know, I have to go to Boston a lot, D.C., and I'll drive. I'll get in my car, boom, 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 boom. So much easier than to rent a car, the plane, the this, the that. So if you can drive your vacation, even if it's like 12, 13 hours, you kind of break it up. That is a better play because it's going to be very expensive and crowded to vacation this year. One other tip. Not a lot of foreign tourists coming to the USA. That's way down because of the tariff stuff. But it's being made up by Americans wanting to go to the national parks and all that. So the final thought of the day is get on it this weekend. lay it out. Is what I want to do. Is when I want to do it. Make it happen. Thank you very much for watching and listening to the No Spin News. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching. To view full episodes of the No Spin News anytime, sign up to become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member today.